Yo guys, what is going on? Got some more BT7 gameplay for you guys. This is featuring a green hybrid down at the bottom, so another hybrid deck, of course, going to Digivolve into Palmon, which is kind of a spicy tech I'm playing just to get more searches off, and then going to play the JP for a cost of 3. If you don't know what green hybrid deck does, it's basically the same as every other hybrid. You're just trying to set up your tamers, go into your level 4 hybrids, but on the contrary to like a lot of the other decks, the hybrids in this deck can do a lot more. Beetlemon is a searcher for the deck, and then all of them you can pretty much evolve for a reduced cost if you've got JP on the field, which is really sick. I'm playing against what appears to be gooooooo, but it's not just pure gooooooo. He's playing a lot of the blue hybrids there, so we see the Kendo Garurumon Digivolved for a cost of 2-3, I believe. So it's a really strong deck, especially because now you've got stuff like Kumamon, you've got Tommy, you've got Korikakumon. So a lot of really powerful stun cards, even though you've lost 3 copies of Ice Wall. So it's still definitely a contender. I'm going to Digivolve into the Monochromon there, which is just an 8,000 vanilla for the deck because you're basically playing like a Champion Rush deck. We're going to go into the Metal Kabuterimon there. He's got the effect where you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with, I believe, 6,000 or less if you do have a Tamer underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Attack over it with the Monochromon because he is 8,000. Just gigantic, by the way. That's so big, dude. That's so much value off of just level 4. And then going to play the JP for a cost of 3. We're going to see a Gabumon come out, but I'm not really worried because we're not, like, he's not going to warp this turn. He doesn't have a mat. He doesn't have enough memory to do so, even if he did have the mat. But regardless, we're just going to see the Gabu come out. And then going to Kumamon for a cost of 2. Kumamon then lets you trash the bottom of one of the Digimon, like one of the sources underneath one of your opponent's Digimon. And then Tommy is also going to trash a couple of sources as well. So Tommy makes it so that on play, I believe you trash like 3 sources, and then once per turn when attacking, you get to stun one of your opponent's Digimon because of his inherited effect. So then we're going to suspend the Kumamon with the Metal Kabuterimon, and then attack over it with the JP, gives him piercing, so then going to check a security card as well. So you can see that board control of the green hybrid deck is so absolutely crazy, especially in a format where everyone's running rookies and level 4s. A lot of hybrid decks running around, but you can go into your Digimon that are just like much bigger, and then you've got the piercing as well off of JP. So there's a lot of really powerful plays you can do with the deck, especially once you get rolling. Now the only downside really is I think green probably has the weakest tamer lineup out of any of the main colors. Yellow definitely has the best in my opinion. Blue and red are not far behind, but green realistically only has like JP and Mimi, but a lot of times you don't want to Digivolve over Mimi just because you need to get her her like effect where you get to like suspend to bring out another Digiegg. That's really valuable effect, especially for speeding up the deck. But we're just going to see an Ice Wall played for 1, and then a Gabumon played for 3, revealing the top 5 cards of the deck, adding any tamer amongst those to the hand. So we're going to see a Davis to the hand, which will then allow my opponent to get the search and then acts as a memory tamer as well. So we are going to go ahead, unsuspend, start the turn with 3 memory, but of course only one of the Digimon can realistically attack because we are under Ice Wall for the turn. But the great thing about this format is there's only 1 Ice Wall to deal with, so you don't really have to worry about having to get double, triple Ice Wall in a single turn, which is a really welcome addition to the game. So we are going to potentially just start swinging. Don't have any rookies here. I think the best play is just to start going into my hybrids here. So I'm going to go into Metal Kabuterimon again, since he's got the hybrid underneath him. He's got the Beetlemon, or actually it might just be another copy of himself because he can evolve on a level 4. And then we're going to suspend the Gabumon, and then going to attack over it, losing 2 memory with the other Metal Kabuterimon, hitting piercing against, running into another mat, which is definitely a little bit scary because we see the Gabumon coming out of the breeding area, but it's not the worst thing in the world because it is not the BT6 Gabumon, so he's probably only going to get 2 checks out of that, and then not unless he's got like double hammer spar, you're not going to see a hybrid. So we're just going to play JP for a cost of 3, passing the turn, and with this we've got 4 Digimon in play, and then 1 more hybrid coming down on top of the JP next turn. So I think if he does bond here, there's no way he can kill me, and we definitely guarantee lethal because he's going to get rid of the last 2 security cards. We're just going to see a Strabimon played for 3, grabbing the mat, as well as a hybrid off of the effect. Strabimon just gets better with time. There's just more hybrids in the game, more blue tamers as well. So we're going to go into the Kumamon there. So we're going to see the Kumamon get rid of the material on of the middle Metal Kabuterimon, which was a little bit interesting, but I imagine that's because he is going to attack over the suspended one. So we're going to Hammer Spark, go to 1, Digivolve into the Kendo for a 1 cost because you are evolving on level 4, and then run over the suspended, not Hercules, Metal Kabuterimon, crashing into it, and then locking up the middle one, and then playing another copy of Strabimon. After that, grabbing some hybrids, grabbing the Beowulfmon there, and then putting the rest at the bottom of the deck. So now, unless I have a hybrid in my hand, my opponent is safe for the turn, assuming I don't hit into a Hammer Spark or anything. But unfortunately for him, I do definitely still have enough for going for game. So I'm going to swing with the Monochromon, hit a third copy of Matt, by the way, in security, hit the Betamon into security, and then Digivolve for the final blow there into the hybrid. So then for game 2, I think this hand is like also just okay. You usually want to see JP early on, but I do have the Betamon as well as the Bokomon, so I can't really complain there. Got a couple of searches. My opponent is going to start hatching the Upamon and then Digivolving into the BT6 Gabumon there, and then starting off with a mat. So a pretty ideal setup for Bond turn 1. Realistically, what you want to see is either that or maybe like a Davis or something. But we're just going to Digivolve into the Betamon over there, and I'm debating here what I can play because I did draw into the JP. Thankfully, I've got the both the Metal Kabuterimon as well as the Beetlemon, so Beetlemon will allow me to get even more searches, but I think before that I'm going to play Pokemon so I can start to get the free evolutions off of that. So we're going to go ahead and grab the hybrid there off of the effect. You saw the Analog Youth as well. But we're just going to grab that and then play the JP for a cost of 3. So now if my Pokemon does survive, he can then give me the free evolution off of the JP evolve. Well, actually, I'll actually go +1 memory because the JP lets me reduce the cost, allowing me to Digivolve for a hybrid for 1, and then I'll gain 2 off of the Pokemon, so then go back to +1. So that's really nice. We're going to see the Gabumon swing into security. He did draw a card off the Upamon, and then going to run into the Rhino Kabuterimon, which I am playing in this list. I am playing a couple copies of Rhino as well as the Horse and Ancient Beetlemon. I do think they're still very powerful cards, but of course not playing too many copies of those. We're going to move out the Pokemon, or sorry, the Betamon, and then Digivolve into a copy of Beetlemon for 2 Beetlemon. Then says when Digivolving, you can reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You get to add a JP as well as a hybrid, I believe. So we're going to grab the Rhino Kabuterimon there, which is a really powerful card. You can also evolve him for a 1 cost. He's one of those ultimates that allow you to evolve for 1, just similar to Jet Sylveon if you got a hybrid or a tamer underneath them. So we're just going to swing Beetlemon first, run into the Beowulfmon there, and then play the Mimi for a cost of 4. I probably should have evolved the Rhino there just to guarantee like I would live there, but I think he might be the same DP as Beowulf, I'm not sure. We're just going to play Mimi there, and then my opponent is going to start with the 3 memory Digivolve into the Gabumon there. Now, I didn't actually get the +2 memory off the Pokemon because I evolved on top of one of my Digimon instead of one of my Tamers. And then we're going to see the Kumamon there. Kumamon, of course, being able to trash the bottom card of 1 in security. And then Beowulfmon being such a powerful card, a 1 cost ultimate, of course. And then when attacking, you can return a hybrid from your like its sources to your hand to bounce one of your opponent's Digimon with the same level. So it's a really, really powerful effect, being able to just get rid of your opponent's Digimon. And then we're going to see a JP played from security, which is very fortunate for me because now I've got basically 2 evolutions next turn for free because I've got the hybrids in hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw into the Palmon, Digivolve that for a 0 cost, and then probably just start going to like the Metal Kabuterimon, the Borgmon here, and then possibly Rhino after that, because if you've got a tamer in the sources here, you can evolve Rhino for a 1 cost instead of a 3. So I could possibly just go JP for 1, or like into Metal Copy Terramon for 1, and then uses effect where it's not going to apply here because we've got no targets, but then I can just go Rhino for 1 as well, climbing up into level 5 with 8,000 DP, which can then, yeah, actually can swing over the Beowulfmon because Beowulfmon is only 7,000, so we're going to go ahead and attack over the Beowulfmon, and then, by the way, JP does give Piercing still, but I'm actually going to, yeah, first of all, I'm going to use Mimi to bring out the Palmon there, and then going to run into the Korikakumon in security, so definitely surviving against hybrid decks and against warp decks and decks that really don't play a lot of big level 5s and 6s, so we're just going to swing into that. Still got 1 memory, and then just going to pass turn, putting my opponent to 1, playing the Analog Youth for a cost of 3, grabbing any one of those Digimon, probably want the hybrid there, grabbing the Metal Copy Terramon, because I've got 2 Tamers on the field, so I can definitely push lethal if need be. I've also got that 1 cost option in my hand, which lets me, it's basically a needle spray, but it's a 1 cost if you've got a hybrid on the field, so it's a really nice addition to the green hybrid deck. Now, my opponent does only have 1 because he's got no Memory Tamer on the field, so I'm not sure what he can do with just 1. He could Digivolve into something like a Tommy or a Korikakumon, potentially to start stunning. I believe Korikakumon on Evolve can stun, you know, an opponent's Digimon without sources. However, he's only got 1 memory, so he would have to do like maybe Hammer Spark and then go into that and then like start attacking over the Rhino if possible. And then we're just going to see a Sora and Joe played for a 4 cost, leaving me with 3 memory. I'm going to start by Digivolving the Betamon and then probably just start swinging. I don't think there's a real reason not to. So we're going to attack with the Palmon, run into a Hammer Spark, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And then I've also got the Mimi in play, so I can potentially suspend the Mimi, bring out the Betamon since Rhino Copy Terramon is a green level 5, and that'll get me 2 extra attacks, and then since JP reduces the cost of hybrids, I can still game him, assuming I don't run into another Hammer Spark. So we're going to run into the mat with the Rhino Copy Terramon. I'm going to then suspend the Mimi. Mimi will then let me bring out the Betamon, and since it wasn't played this turn, it can attack, going to hit the Gabuon, and then finally I'm going to end things off with the hybrid finisher. But guys, that's going to be the game. Hopefully you enjoyed, and let me know if you enjoyed the green hybrid deck. I think it's been a lot of fun, and definitely I think one of the more underrated picks for the like hybrid format, just because maybe people were looking at purple and yellow and blue and just got a little bit overshadowed, but I still think it's definitely a very viable option. But guys, that's going to be the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.